Live. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Night Sky Arena. We have an absolutely banger matchup today. DV8 Wukong versus 0G Nebula. Two teams with a ton of rich story, rich history behind them. Obviously, 0G Nebula had a pretty good run last season. You know, during the Night Sky Invitational, 0G Nebula, obviously now known as 0G, what's it called, made 5th.
Yeah, I just did. I'm joining back right now. Yeah, we can.
We can. It also swap mics.
Yeah, you also swap mics. There you go.
Alright, so just load back into the game wherever you want.
I'm loading back in right now.
Alright, I don't know how long my mic was out for, but I'll just to recap, 0G Nebula versus DV8 Wukong. Two teams with a ton of rich story behind them. DV8 Wukong came into this tournament with a ton of expectations behind them and haven't looked the best, but they're hoping to show some signs of life during the playoffs. And 0G Nebula also came into the Night Sky Arena with a ton of expectations, but they really succeeded, right? They haven't dropped a game yet. They look incredible. So the question is DV8 Wukong going to be able to show us some of that fire that they showed during the Invitational? Already getting off to a hot start. Ryuki guy firing some pot shots in the mid, but for now, I was about to say Nebula's won this fight, but actually Azumi has gotten a molly kill on to Tempoed. Spike down in the top mid. Azumi is going to be caught up by that Ravnet. Nebula's still exploring down middle. Vi is currently exploring A. Might get caught out here. Yeah, Cutbold's gonna find Floofy. That's all the A main space. However, Nebula's already up into short. Choosing to back off of short. Hey, who's observing, by the way? I forgot.
Darkness.
Okay. No wonder. Alright. Now DV8 just holding A main, just waiting for a reaction. Nebula gearing towards A as well, but DV8 Wukong are just playing it patient. That Killjoy utility still up in B main. Crossfires, cross lines, and Swan falls right to Azumi. Flash goes out, Mars on 1 HP falls to Graves. Azumi gets a third in the round to finish it off. First round goes DV8 Wukong. A lot of promise. That was a flawless. They had some really good stuff going on. Azumi's Molly getting the first pick, actually. I don't know how they managed to do that. I don't know what utility combo led to the Molly getting the first pick, but no matter what it was, it's still a really good use of that Phoenix utility that we haven't actually seen a lot of teams get the full potential out of, right? People are I would say just dogpiling onto the meta and running Phoenix on every map, but a lot of teams don't have good theory around it. DV8 are already first round showing that they have utility combos around it. Nebula again pressuring middle. Smoke goes out. Blocks Graves off in short. Dart as well clears mid. Nebula successful for the first time this game. Second round, I know, but still, first time this game. Getting middle. Killjoy Alarmbot still up, and Cup Gold takes line with his signature Ares. Brings Floofy falling. Sentinel dead, or at least the first one. Alarmbot's going to be triggered. Tyler Staria knows what's going on. Has the read. Flash goes out from Mars. Gonna blind Tyler Staria out. Gonna be known, but Cup Gold's going to pick it and actually going to get picked off by Tempo, but
Last
Killjoy,
player standing.
Phoenix, Omen, not gonna let the eco happen. Second round for DV8 Wukong. Got a little bit scrappy, but still, not the worst. Investments brought out. Gun's still up. Also, guys, tell me if my microphone gets annoying. I changed some settings, so if it's
No, it sounds good.
if it's bad. also talking to chat. Chat and you guys.
Yeah.
So into this round for DV8 Wukong, you should just expect to see them fighting for a little bit of space, fighting for some of these orbs, maybe getting some damage out. And you should see Nebula start to heat up a little bit. Vi's lurking down B main already. Killjoy looking to take a potential fight. No, Tyler Story actually gonna insert it. Whaley utility goes out, gonna hit Floofy 1 HP, but Tyler Story is not done yet. Vines go down, barely saving Floofy from his utter demise. Two members worked up in A main, and it looks like that is what Nebula are going to start to gear towards. Walking back over towards main, Yoru all the way up in short. Going to take an engagement with Graves. Mars puts him down, but not without some damage. Cup Golden Heaven with the Ares Bandit. You cannot peek out of the smoke dry. He's going to wait for his team. Cup Gold with some spam, but Bandit's actually going to pick him off, and Azumi feels confident popping this ultimate back into it. Wall's going to go down in Heaven, stopping any potential retake. Floofy picking off that ultimate right away.
player
Hylistaria with a random pick, but tempo to even it out, and now it is Azumi. And a 1 versus 3 spike goes down. A little bit of a head angle. Mars caught out. Drone gives him all the information. Azumi going to fake Heaven. Deadlock sensor is still up, though, as well as the wall, so really understand what's going on. Tempoed in hell, gonna find the first and heal, and all of a sudden this one is dangerous. Dart's gonna give him all the information he needs to know, and Tempoed takes the timing, gets the round. It's close, but no cigar as Nebula takes their first round. Buy round gonna be expected, but DV8, even without a pretty good start into the round, Azumi is still showing some of that individual mechanical prowess that we've seen from him in the past. Obviously, Azumi is a very storied player in this tournament, and he's not going to stop anytime soon, looking to bring the series to a win. Close out their first game of playoffs. And once again, Nebula gearing away from middle. First 2 rounds, they were putting a ton of pressure in middle. Deviate have been doing a good job of kind of neutralizing that pressure, and I think that Deviate have the read that a lot of that pressure was just conditioning. Waylay Operator goes out in middle. Tempo, you cannot pick this. Ryuka guy with the early pick. Absolutely flawless. Deadlock clearing middle slowly, but has no idea. Ryuka guy out for the peak. Falls off. Omen and Phoenix. A little bit of an engagement. Azumi holding the line. Has the read. Swan still just sitting on top of this half wall. Buys with the spike all the way in tiles at the same time. Going to be Cup Gold, droning out A main, just reclearing the space. Allows him to rotate back over to main. TP goes out as well, all the way back to A. Looks like he might want to put some pressure in short. Go back A, but going to be foiled by Ryuka guy. A nice shot, second on the board. Azumi flashing straight out. Graves getting the pick. Nice flash from Azumi. Ryuka guy still holding the angle, and it's like Nebula really have nowhere to go. They're kind of trapped. Floofy with the spike all the way in short, going to be disconnected from Deadlock. Wall goes up in A main, forcing Deadlock to to get any value out of this martial orb. Going to be collected easy peasy. Floofy knows what's going on in short, knows that there's a operator watching him, knows that he can't actually get past this line without paying a hefty price. Graves as well, doubling up with Ryuka guy as Tyler Staria starts to work back towards mid, just watching that, holding for the alarm, but Marshall out. Will he find anything? Flash goes out, Ryuka guy misses the shot. Oh, and the Marshall's good for it. Raze, however, gets Floofy, puts it into a 1 versus 4, and the shots are not good. It was a flash of brilliance for sure, but DV8 Wukong finding their 3rd round on the board. Nebula, ever since gearing away from the mid aggression, have started to falter in their pace. They're working the mains a lot, but they're just letting Wukong have mid. And I understand, I get it. The read is, if we pressure for the first 2 rounds, then they're going to have to put resources in middle. But DV8 Wukong are too smart to fall for something like that. All they need is the Killjoy alarm bot, which, by the way, is not being defaulted at all by Nebula. Instead of just sending a simple shock dart in the middle to break it, they're just letting it sit and collect all the information, allowing the early rotates. Now, Azumi and Graves immediately in A main. Drone goes out, gonna catch Azumi, but there's a little bit of a Phoenix Molly lineup, gonna force him to back off the line for just a little bit. Ryuka guy finds Floofy, pushing all the way into B main off of no utility, just purely contacting, and Ryuka guy now has the read, rotates back over to A. This is Bandit with the Marshall in mid, holding short, making sure that nobody can actually get that space, while 3 other members of Nebula grouped up in A. Orb collection is going to be heard by Azumi here, just holding this angle. Cup Gold in Heaven as well. Like Graves is just holding short as well. They have some really nice crossfire set up. Nebula, how are you going to deal with this? Bandit still pointed towards short. Ping going out in bottom mid. Looks like they do want to scale up mid a little bit. No, instead they actually smoke it. And Shockdart's going to go over towards the alarm bot, which is going to break it. However, the smoke makes it painfully obvious to Wukong that no, there's actually not going to be any aggression down in the mid. Instead, 3 members of Nebula pushing down short while Yoru all the way up in a main. Collects that orb. Graves floating that smoke over towards B. Barely misses Bandit. Dart as well, all of that utility just to push Graves off the line. Cupcold finds Mars pushing out a main, and all of a sudden, Nebula are isolated all the way in tree. Azumi a little bit of a whiff, but Tempo gets the hit. Graves with the trade, Tempo last alive, and the Ryuki guy dispatches of him handily. A little bit scary there once Graves got pushed off the line. However, Nebula cannot afford to be using that much utility just to push one guy off of the line. I mean, come on, he has a Phantom. Just run at him. He cannot kill you all, or maybe he can. Maybe it's Graves. Maybe that's the type of respect that you have to show a player like Graves in these moments, right? I mean, Graves was a tournament MVP of the Night Sky Invitational. I did forget that. Maybe that's why they showed him so much respect. You know, he has that MVP title, and you can't just run at this guy. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe the utility was warranted. However, if they do end up doing something like that on a buy run where they have equal guns, equal footing, it's still going to be a terrible sign for them. They cannot be using Gravnet, Smoke, Blind, and a Dart, all just to make sure that Graves can't get to them. I hate to say it, but I think that a Gravnet and a Smoke is more than enough. Like a Smoke comboed with anything else is going to make sure that they can't actually get through the choke and take a timing. I'm hyperfixating on this little bit of detail, but it is a sign of a large overarching issue so far, right? We're on the 6th round and we're not seeing Nebula use utility well. We're not seeing Tempo use any shock darts over towards mid to break this easy access alarm bot. We're not seeing any mid pressure, no smokes, no nothing. It's strange. It's strange to see Nebula, such a high functioning team, resorting to just contacting and then using all of their utility on a single guy. This time, however, it does look like Nebula wants to switch paces. IGL has a little bit of a read over towards B, wants to hit the site fast, or maybe just put a ton of pressure. However, Wukong now pushing down middle. Azumi gonna pop this ult, and Ryuki guy getting pacey with it all the way down the flank, and I don't know if they have the read. Azumi trips the wall, doesn't manage to find anything except for information, which is worth it. Mars tagged out, Cupgold with the Odin, you know what's going on there. Bandit with the Deadlock Ultimate, gonna find the first on the Cupgold. Drone goes out as well, making sure that no one can follow up. Bandit finds Cupgold and Tyler Staria already. DV8. Tempo switch has caught them out. Mars in the corner, and Ryuki guy has no idea. With this operator, he would be dead. But Mars just playing it safe, playing it smart. Azumi behind this deadlock wall and Graves on the flank. But Mars is good for it, gets the head tap over. Information revealed, but Bandit is good for it. And Azumi tries to do something, but Bandit with the 4-click closes the round out 4-2 in favor of Wukong. Nebula with the pacey take. And Wukong had no idea how to switch it up to throw a little bit of a leash back to DV8 Wukong to, not a leash, but a little bit of a lifeline to DV8 Wukong. Maybe they were caught off guard because they themselves were switching tempos, right? They had the read that Nebula would be pushing mid and fighting for that mid space that they've been neglecting for most of the game. However, this wasn't a good read. It was a pretty good read, but Nebula reverse read it. I don't know. I don't want to make it too complicated. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Yeah.
That's definitely
it was
not
a good
what Nebula
timeout
did.
from Nebula there.
No, 100%. Whatever they said during that. Oh, Mars, another pacey take over towards A, and Azumi's the only one here. Gonna break that door and just get it down early. It's smart from him. Deadlock wall as well goes down, but the ult is just not gonna be comboed well. Mars, a blind firefight, comes out on top. Tyler Staria lurking down mid. Graves as well. Gonna be able to TP past this Vi as well. Actually going to rip it for some reason. He just puts the pressure. Forces Tempo to stay in a main. It's good idea. Jar gonna go out from Cup Gold as well. Comboing these ultimates well. Bandit stuck in hell. However, Wukong have no idea. No, they actually do. Cup Gold gets one. Ryuki guy another. Retaking operator. Graves a third on the round. Mars trying to do his best to save the round, but Ryuki guy gonna put a stop to it. Wukong, it doesn't even matter how pacey Nebula get. A very, very handed retake. Now, is it a little bit lucky that Nebula didn't combo the ultimates well? Yeah, it's definitely pretty lucky. Azumi was 100% caught in that deadlock barrier. And there was a Yoru ult and a Sova ult on him. He should have been dead there. A little bit of a misplay from Nebula. Nothing too crazy, just a little bit of maybe a lack of practice or not expecting anyone to actually get caught. It's okay. Wukong got lucky. We'll just chalk it up to that. This round was entirely luck from Wukong. However, this round Nebula doing the same exact thing. No ults, and Bandit is on a stinger. Everyone else on rifles, though. This is still going to be a very, very important economic swing round for Nebula. DV8 Wukong not so much. Their economy getting pretty out of control. Drone going out. Graves whiffing on the flash, but manages to break it in time. Paranoia is going to go through tree, but the dart is good for it, and instantly Graves is the one to capitalize off of it too from tree with the... Well, oh my god, Cup Gold's just dry swinging out of the smoke! Finds Swan, immediately traded by Tempo, but the damage is done. It's a 2 versus 4. Ryuka guy as well with the shot on the Bandit. You cannot disrespect this kid like that. Tempo, last one to fly, full blind Tyler Stario. The headshot to close it out. Ryuki guy, another ultimate orb towards the Whale. Now, actually, I was about to say they should be giving it to Azumi, but looks like they're just prioritizing the Whale into it. Not a terrible idea at all. You know, they're one off. Azumi could get 1 kill, get an orb. I like the forethought. Should we talk about Nebula? It's really kind of crazy to me how they're doing some pretty good stuff. And I don't want to chalk Wukong's success up to luck, because their success is not up to luck. Their success is up to good fundamentals, good team play, good map theory, etc., etc. They're just a well-rounded team. However, it is crazy that Graves is the one to get 2 off of that dart. The other side of that coin is it was a good dart and it was good positioning. So whichever one you choose to go with, whichever narrative fits your perspective, it's fine with me. Tempo with the drone clearing out a main. Didn't actually clear wine, but I think that they might have had the timing on that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Dart's going to go out over towards A a little bit early. No big deal. Cup Gold in heaven. Will he do the same thing twice? No, he will not. Instead, a barrage of utility going to inflict so many status effects on these guys. And a Paranoia as well. They want to take this heaven space. They're tired of Cup Gold abusing them in heaven. The blind goes out, but Cup Gold finds 2! You cannot win! You cannot advance! Graves finds Flippy as well. Full flash on this drone, not going to find Tempoed, but not even going to matter. Oh my god, Tempoed! I mean, he has no chance in this. Surely not!
No way.
Surely Tempo doesn't even have a chance! 47 HP and Graves! Right out of the air! But oh my god, did he make it close? Tempoed! What do you have to show us, kid? Imagine if he had a rifle there. Graves should be absolutely thanking whichever god he serves that he got out of that round alive. 7-2. Nebula, a little bit shaken, but clearly individual still firing on all cylinders. Tempo has been an absolute force to be reckoned with. I would like to go back to just something funny for me. It's crazy to me that Cup Gold was just in heaven being pummeled with utility with the Odin and still managed to get to. That's another instance of, is it luck or is it just good gameplay from Deviate? Is it lucky that Cup Gold got 2, or did he just have good positioning, good aim, etc., etc.? Drone going out. Azumi wants to push the pace. Flash goes out. Going to be spotted out still, but not even going to mind. Phoenix Ult as well. Flash goes out. Can he find anything? No, he cannot. Tempo. Dispatches carrying on that momentum. Azumi and Graves still in main. Wall's going to go out. Just wants to break this door as quickly as possible. Protocol is good. Flash goes out from Mars. Good entry onto the site. Cup Gold dart as well.
Found them.
Might just be good for it. Oh my god, he is! You give this guy any chance at all and he'll take it. Another straight through the smoke. And just like that, Bandit, it's left to you to turn this wonker-jawed round back around. And Azumi's not going to let it happen. 8-2. And Wukong showing us a completely different look from the playoff. This is not the same Wukong that lost to Apex Starlight in the group stage. This is a completely different team. This is a drilled team full of protocols, not a single flaw in their gameplay. I'm just gonna completely abandon the luck narrative and just switch to glazing Deviate yet again, because I was saying it during the last Stargazing episode. I think that Wukong are gonna look good. I still have faith in them. They're vindicating me. I say that as Bandit does sit the operator down. Graves left to fill in this hole. Drone out towards A main. Swan around this angle. Graves is good for it. Dark goes out in mid. Wukong at least have that space. Going to enable some rotations over to A. They know where Nebula's ending. Azumi, if you peek this, you might just be dead. Bandit is on a little bit of a heater. Bandit shoots the ball off instead. A nice entry onto the A side, but Cup Gold obviously still there. Not going to be dealt with. Graves finds Floofy. Okay, cool. A couple picked off, but no big deal. Tempo's still alive. You saw the last time the Sheriff was in his hands. Gonna find Deadlock, separating him, but Tempo, what a belter of a shot! What do you have to show for us? I'm excited to see shock darts going out. Forcing Cupgold to back off the line. There's shock darts as well, not gonna find any damage onto Tempo, navigating around Generator, wanting to get this plant off. Graves gonna line him up. Ultimate goes out and Tempo handily dealt with. Bandit, last one left alive, just gonna walk right into the ult. It is insane that Cupgold decided that he had to put the ultimate into that if they didn't want to get absolutely peltered by Tempo. It just goes to show that Wukong are a team that does not lack respect for players they know are good. Wukong is not overextending. Wukong isn't overheating. Wukong is just playing it safe. They're using these ultimates into the egos to make sure that they don't get ecoed. They're making sure that their star player Tempo is dealt with properly.
Right here.
And all of that has earned them 9 rounds, possibly a 10th if they manage to get this round as well. And Nebula going back to the one thing that worked. It is a full B hit. Mars right away with the Yoru ultimate onto site. Cupgold with this dart just ready to do some damage. Not going to be cleared out at all. Wall's going to go over towards middle. Cupgold with the spam. Tempo lucky to be alive. Making that teleport. Could be anywhere now.
Spike planted.
Deadlock utility going to make this retake so difficult. Cupgold's drone getting too much value, I would say. Killjoy ultimate going to go out, but Tempo immediately knows how to deal with it. Ryuga guy just lands and dispatches Swan so well. Azumi finds Tempo off the back of that pinch. Luffy finds Graves, Deadlock utility being broken. Mars, another headshot. Whaley ultimate gonna go out. Forced this ultimate out of the Mars in the corner, but Cupgold falls, and this is it. This could be a round on the board for Nebula. 9-3, and we end the half. Mars individual brilliance to bring them that 3rd round now. We'll have to see what they can find on defense, and I have to say, defense might just be a banger. They have a Deadlock and a Vise. That is a crazy defense-sided comp, as well as the Yoru. You know, Yoru not finding too much value on the attacker side anymore. Obviously, if you use them right.
A 1 minute break, correct?
Yes, 1 minute break. So just pause the timer and then set a 1 minute timer, and like type it in chat as well. You gotta pause the timer.
Yeah, I paused it.
It's still. Oh, my bad. I can't see on the overlay. Sorry. All right. So talking a little bit about these two teams, I was speaking about how Yoru not getting too much value on attack anymore. However, it is a completely different story on defense, where the nerf for the teleports, I will stand by the fact that it is not terrible for the teleports. I think the bigger nerf is taking away the flash, but the teleports are still really good for instant aggression, getting out of there, map-wide rotations. Obviously, you have to take smarter timings, but Mars has been great on the Yoru. Like he's had a solid performance, he's had good utility, etc., etc. I think that Nebula probably have a very, 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 very drilled defense, at least defense. Sorry, that is my hope. That is my hope for a team of Nebula's what's the word? Oh my God. Of Nebula's caliber. That's the word. My hope for a team of Nebula's caliber is that they will have a drilled defense, especially with these agents. Deadlock as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Wukong's defense showed really strong. Nebula couldn't do much about it, especially with just Yoru as the only duelist. Now on defense with 2 Sentis, I'm hoping to see a comeback. I'm hoping to see a 9-3 curse here, reverse. So
Right.
I'm really excited about these 2 teams, especially for Tempo and Cupgold, since I've heard a lot of good things about both players. Tempo showing that 4K on the Sheriff was insane, almost clutching the round. So let's see what the second half has for us.
Right, 100%. I'm hoping that Tempo can find even more on this defensive half. Cupgold excelled during his defensive half, especially with those the heavy weapon. You know, the Air Rees was good for it, but even more than that, the Odin was incredible. And if Tempo can, I'm not saying that Tempo has to abuse these weapons to find value. I think that Tempo can do it with a rifle, and I'm not saying that Cupgold can't, but I think that Tempo has showed individual brilliance this map. And I think that if Nebula can crawl back into it during their defense, then this has the potential to be a banger. We're saying something interesting from the side of Wukong. I just want to highlight the fact that they have 4 classics, 4 half shield. That is bizarre. Mars instantly getting inserted in the mid, gonna force to be teleported out. buy as well over towards mid as well, so they at least have that space until it is tripped. Bandit just swinging. Azumi fights out, finds Swan. Deadlock sensor going to be activated there. First one of many. Bandit off the back of a nice net finds Azumi, but Cupgold gets the trade. Graves finds one in mid. Actually, there's a lot of fighting going on in middle right now. Paranoia forced to be used as well as the Waylay slow. Graves backing off all the way to tiles. It is a 2 versus 3, but it might as well be a 2v2 on site right now. Graves going to be super late through main. Cupgold, however, worked all the way up. Tempo pulls the knife out. Drone goes out for Floofy. Cupgold doesn't want to re-peek just yet. Just wants to put some pressure. Hoping he can delay Floofy's advance just a little bit. Not gonna work exactly, however. Does buy enough time for these crossfires to get set up. Graves all the way in main. Floofy gonna peek out. Cupgold not gonna be found just yet.
My blind is dead.
Blind destroyed. Dart goes out. Scanning up. Has the read on exactly where Floofy is. Backing off. Time ticking down. Looks like it's just gonna be a save. I want to curse it, but doors closed. Floofy has no weaponry. Just gonna want to die to the spike here. That's all. Easy peasy. You have to die to the spike, Floofy. Alright, he will. That was a good round. A Ryuki guy trying to do something cheeky with the recall. Not exactly gonna work, however. Round is around 10-3. 3 rounds away for Deviate Wukong, closing out this map. Can anyone tell me whose map pick this was?
If I'm not wrong, it was Wukong's pick.
Right.
No, this is Nebula's. Nebula was
Oh,
Nebula's?
this is Nebula's pick, and I still have a lot of faith in Nebula. You know, I still have a lot of faith that Nebula is drilled on this defense. I think that it is just a flash in the pan, that they haven't been able to find much value. I think that we'll see something better from them. Already, we're looking to see something aggressive from March. He's gonna peek out. I curse the brief guy. Gets the pick. Omen Paranoia goes out, but Azumi, Molly's good for it. Gonna stop their advance. Net catching Azumi, but Ryuki guy 100% straight away. Going to help. Spam damage caught. Information as well. Just running away from the site where the deadlock resides because Tyler Staria worked all the way up through B. Vi's just completely evacuating the site out of absolutely no pressure. Tyler Staria working up, finding Floofy. Numbers for Nebula, just a save, however. Did force up, 2 stingers and a sheriff left in play. I say that. With 2 stingers left, does pick up the stinger. Tempoed another nice headshot. Gonna have to find 3 more between Bandit and Tempoed if they want to even find this round into it. They did force up, so they kind of have to win this round or else they're gonna be kind of cooked. Drone going to spot out Ryuki guy. First of 3. Dashes away to main, avoiding a disaster. Net going to catch Graves, but Cupgold has the line. Ares pick is good, and Ryuki guy swings off of that contact, finds Tempoed 11-3. About how you would expect, even off the back of a Nebula force up. Now Nebula's economy a little bit cooked. 2 Guardians already being seen, a Judge, a Stinger. Actually, the Judge and the Stinger are going to be sold. Going to buy Sheriffs instead. Bandit hasn't even brought anything yet. DV Wukong going to play it safe, not even going to force into this. You know, other teams would just want to get it over with, just going to force into this, but DV Wukong, not so much. Going to keep it light, going to keep it relatively safe. Tyler Staria is forcing up a rifle, but to be expected, he did make a lot of credits last round. Drone going out for Cupgold, and Bandit immediately deploying this wall. Wants to just break this drone, not before it gets the scan off, and the Ares is going to dispatch this wall immediately. Swan with a belter of a shot over in mid, finds a controller player. DV8 left a little bit confused. Cupgold just walking up onto the A site. Thorn's going to go out on the B site. Tyler Staria has been spotted out. Tempoed in market. The peak and take an engagement. An engagement he does take. Tyler Staria wiped off the board. Initiator and controller gone for Deviate Wukong. At the same time, Swan is just pushing all the way up A. Cupgold has no idea. He's about to be pinched by a very mechanically gifted player. Tempoed almost finds another, but Azumi's just too fast. Gets his heal off immediately, and Cupgold has somehow walked up on the site, but he's not even going to check it. And the long-range Judge doesn't find the kill, but Cupgold has actually gotten out of this with a pretty good deal. Even though he does die, he gets a ton of information. Azumi wants this round so badly. Ryuki guy just on site, and Floofy cannot outrun his fate. Azumi walls off spawn before his ultimate is down. Mars reverse flash. Swan make sure that Azumi doesn't get any value. Smoke left for Swan. Yuka guy finds first of 3 and cannot find the round, however. Damage is still being dealt, and Nebula's economy is still going to be super shaken. She's still going to come through.
Good try.
11-4. Nebula has found a 4th round. For the defensive half, it does come off the back of a lot of scrappy fights being taken by Wukong on their save. On the bonus, you know. But
Yeah, huge bonus from Wukong here, a lot of damage. I'm hoping to see more from the Sentinels, especially having one on each side. They're not being able to stop them much, and the
Right.
pushes.
no, I completely agree with you. I think the fact that they're using the Sentinels like this shows a little bit of a lack of thought into the comp. I hate to be rude. All respect to Nebula. Oh, never mind. Tempoed takes matters into his own hands. Finds a pick on Azumi. I'm sure a belter of a shot. Finds another, goes back for
Spike
more.
down.
Wow,
Tempo
Tempo.
wiped off the board. This guy's firing on all cylinders. Paranoia about to be used for main, but have the read. It's just Graves alone. Tempoed walking out once to get even more. Not going to be able to find any more value. However, Swan does get the trade. Puts it into a 2 versus 4. This is an advantage for Nebula. They just have to close this round up. Graves and Yuki guy walking up, and Graves just straight through the smoke. Not how you would expect that to go, but alright, I guess. Teleports through. Ryuka guy, Whaley Dash defeats the point of going quiet, but still. Bandit with the Marshal. Not gonna be red, holding this angle. Graves backing up, and Ryuka guy will find Bandit on the angle. Very nice angle, might I add. It is a 2 versus 2 all of a sudden. This was, at its peak, a 4 versus 2, and now it is 2 versus 2. Nebula just have to not throw this, and they will be okay. Ryuki guy getting this plant off one more towards the Whaley ult.
Last player
Swan
standing.
walking out
Doing
alone
it big.
almost dies for his sins, but manages to get the headshot. Ryuki guy, suppressive utility, 1 versus 2. Bulldog versus a rifle and a Spectre for the side of Nebula. 1 HP for Swan. Declines to drop his weapon over to Floofy, instead keeps it for himself. Drop down will be red. Thorns go out, and the Whaley ultimate's going to be used.
Good
End of this one. Ryuka guy
remaining.
wants this round, and Swan sticking,
Sticking.
and Ryuka guy
Took care
the
of it.
3K
As
and the
I did.
1 versus 2 to close out the round. 12 to
Match
4.
point.
It is a match point for Wukong. It doesn't even matter if Nebula go up 2 to 4. 4 to 2, sorry. They're up by 2 players. They just have to not throw the round, and instead they give ones away. And I have to be completely honest with you, Crest. Without being rude to Nebula, I mean this with full respect to everyone on the team. Nebula is better than this. I know that Nebula is better than this because they made it this far in a very difficult group. Where is Nebula?
Alright, I've heard a lot of good things about this team, especially Tempo. In my opinion, he's the
There
only
they
one
are.
showing up to this match right now.
Right.
I think everybody else needs to step it up.
Well, speaking
And
of which,
'cause
though, Swan straight through the wall actually finds Graves. Paranoia goes out on the site. Sorry to interrupt you, but a lot of action happening right now.
All
Floofy
good.
picks off Azumi,
Enemy
finds
tag.
another as well.
One enemy
Floofy
remaining.
heating up, and it is a 1 versus 4. Tempoed with a belter of a shot. We were just talking about you. Oh my god, 12 to 5. Nebula, very fast-paced, thrifty round to close out that, or a very fast-paced, thrifty round to add another round onto their half.
Yeah, amazing hold from the Bison side, getting those 2 kills with the Sheriff, allowing the team to get trades there. To go another round, see if Nebula can wake up, build some momentum for the next match. I see it very difficult to come back from this, but at least build some momentum for the next map.
Right.
And let's see how they do.
Right, 100%. And Wukong know that they need to close this one out clean, or else it's going to be difficult to keep that same momentum against a team like
You
Nebula.
cannot escape.
Bandit and Tempo, the
Another
early
great start.
picks. Tempo with an incredible ultimate, and they are up 5 to 3, a map or a player advantage. Wall's going to go out over towards A main, and Cup Gold is not going to be able to get past it. Spike is over towards Tiles right now. Graves with the Spike, that controller player, he's been good, but you have to do an absolute madness, and Cup Gold just trapped in the corner, just trying to get out on his own. Bandit Bullet's going to be wasted. Not going to be with his group. They're going to have to hit without him. It's a 2v2 on the site. Tyler just jump kicking. Graves teleporting in with the spike. Mars
down
finds in a
B.
little bit of desperation from a team that does not to be desperate as all.
Cutting through.
Spam and the Odin from Tempo. Him a taste of their own medicine. Mars about to flash into smoke. Might
30
even want
seconds left.
to swing, but
Player
Tyler not even gonna find anything for his timing. Maybe with a Phantom, sure, but not with a Stinger. Cup Gold versus the World. Does not. Oh, does find the first. Odin spam as well. Doesn't want to peek through this. Does not find the second. Luffy takes the round. 12-6. Nebula crawling back with Wukong on another buy, and they have ultimates that Nebula will have to deal with. Nebula gonna have to deal with Cup Gold's Sova ultimate, as well as Tyler Staria's Killjoy ultimate. They are one away from Azumi's Phoenix ultimate. Now I say that, but Nebula on the other side have some incredible ults to work with as well. They have that Deadlock ultimate, basically a free pick if you do it right. And a Yoru ultimate and Yoru Deadlock. They combo pretty well with those ultimates. They have a Omen ult. Okay, so. One away from a Vise ult. Name of this round is who can use these ultimates better. Dark goes out through mid. Gonna clear tiles on his own. There is still a wall up. They're gonna have to deal with that at some point. Just not yet. Mars is open the shorty. Gonna hear what's going on in mid. Azumi just inserted behind this wall.
Deploying drone.
Off the back of Ryukiai's dash. Tempo. Drone goes out. Mars with a pick on to Ryukiai. Again, giving him a taste of his own medicine. 3 over towards mid, and Azumi still inserted towards market. Could be a little bit of a lifeline. Tyler Storia missing this jump. Gonna be heard by Bandit. Drone goes out. Forced to reveal his deck. Mars just holding this angle. Cup Gold with the Odin. Jam shots galore. Smoke goes out. Missed timing, but Luffy finds Azumi trying to walk up middle. Spike is still over towards mid. Graves might have a timing if they don't suspect any more here. Just spam shots, but Mars deals with it well. Just a flash, and Graves left in a 1 versus 4 would have to do an absolute madness. He's been good, but I will say it again. Could be a step too far. Peeks around this angle, sees Vice's head, doesn't want to deal with anything, and Tyler Storia finds Mars. First of many, walked up all the way, tempoed, almost whiffs, but it's just the random spam shots that end up doing it. Graves walking back towards B main. Thorns are up, but Vice has no info. In fact, this team has no information. Tempoed already used the recon dart. Forces Swan to walk out of A main just to get this information. Tempoed for some reason is
10
darting
seconds left.
his own spawn. Okay. Cool. Time ticking down, but Graves is going to be able to get this plant. Nebula immediately reacts, rotating back over. Vi is still in spawn. Going to want to regroup with Tempoed. Random spam from Tempoed as well, just hoping to find anything. Vi's flash going to be taken back by Floofy. Swan decides it's too readable to go through his flank. Goes out market. Braves repositioning off the noise he hears. Smoke's gonna fade, and there's gonna be engagement, and Swan, incredible reaction time, gives Nebula a 7th round. This is the defense that I was talking about. This is the incredibly well drilled, nice theory from Nebula.
Yes, sir, but let's see how they're gonna counter now that Deviate has 8 ults. To execute a side, to fake a side with a KJ ult. Nebula doesn't have a Soba ult to counter that either. The only way they can hold B, I'm guessing, is with the Vice ult, just to buy time for the team to rotate. It's gonna be a tricky round.
Right.
It seems that Deviate is going into a safe round.
Right.
Maybe we'll see it next.
That, and you say the thing about holding B, but Nebula have stacked over towards B, while Wukong are actually over towards A this round. Deadlock is solo yet again. It's going to be a stun sensor out on that wall.
Throwing net.
Net's going to go out, hoping to just catch something. Actually going to hear the sound cue that, yes, Deadlock has caught
Portal
something.
closed.
Chooses to back off instead of using that ultimate. Spike, along with 2 more, walking down into short. Tempoed with the Odin. Will not be able to find anything. Ryukiai with the Sheriff. Bouncers are going to be popped. Azumi pops that ultimate. Bandit
They need
finds
to kill
2.
Bandit.
Keeps control of main. Ultimate goes out. Finds Azumi's ultimate. Not even going to matter once this ultimate goes down. Basically just a wasted ultimate. Leaving Cup Gold alone on site while Azumi and Ryukiai walk back through short. Swan going to be heard in heaven. Yoru as well. Wall goes out, just separating offshore. Want to put some pressure here, allowing Cup Gold to play on site. Swan smoking, has no idea that lurking below him is an absolute shark attack. Cup Gold takes the first pick. Azumi flashing into short, wants to get some of the space. Mars finds the first, Visel goes out.
One enemy remaining.
Mars with the short, he finds another, and Cup Gold wants to have a go of it, but Bandit puts him in the grave. 3 kills for Bandit and 8 rounds for Nebula. Crawling back into it, 12-8 from 9-3 down isn't too bad. No matter what happens, this map, Nebula can be pretty happy with their performance. However, Nebula are surely not done just yet. They have a Yoru ult that they have yet to use. Gonna work back towards that Sov ult as well. 3 out of 8 so far. Tempoed 18-15. Going absolutely nuclear so far.
Yeah, an amazing hold from Bandit on that A side, getting 2 peaks and holding couple on site for his team to rotate, buying so much time for them.
Gonna go out from Cup Gold, not gonna get a scan, but still gonna find that information. Smoke in main. Blocks off their advance. Filter ultimate gonna go down. Wall as well, but Cup Gold has just the answer for it. Dart is just revealing what they already knew. Dart into heaven. Mars fall off. Deadlock still tucked in hell, but Grafnet herself, interesting choice. Ryuki guy finds that kill. Spam from Tempo, not gonna find anything, just gonna want to break that door.
Nowhere to run.
Early Sova ult, buying a little bit of time. Mars gonna want to ult back. The reversal, Whaley ultimate as well, just trying their best to stall. I don't know what they're doing. They haven't even started the retake yet, and already Wukong burning through these important ults and giving Mars a chance to use his ultimate. Collect all the information, finds Azumi, finds Cup Gold, buys Flash, gonna go out. My one to allow Mars to get out on site, find the kill with the shorty. Cup Gold doing his absolute best, finds a kill on the Mars, finds another, and Cup Gold somehow fends off a swarm. Wukong take the map 13-8, showing us absolute brilliance in terms of individual mechanics, of map theory, team coordination. Wukong is a well-oiled machine, and everyone will be back after a short 5-minute intermission for map number 2. Please stick around until then, and I will see you. Hello everyone, we have a little bit of a special treat. I'm here with Dark and Cress, analysts on the desk. What are y'all's thoughts on that map that we just watched?
Definitely Nebula had the right idea with the defense started coming back, but they kept leaving too much gaps in that mid space. You know, just Wukong just going in there, finding the gaps, almost getting every single pick on the Vice on lever. And it's just really rough to see how such a great comeback comes to an end.
I agree. I was expecting a little bit more of Nebula on the attack, even though they had double Senti and a Joru. But the fight on me that they started from the first round, they started good in my opinion, but after that 9-3 on the first half, seeing how they almost come back on the second, like I told to Eli, I didn't think once Wukong reached round 12, I didn't think they were gonna come back at all. I was just telling him that the best thing they could do is just build momentum for the next map, which they did. And actually, on that last round, I really thought they were gonna get another round. I'm talking about Nebula here, because I saw that Wukong was using their ults, in my opinion, too early, even though they were trying to buy time for themselves. But in my opinion, it was too early because because Nebula hadn't even started the retake. But well, then you have Cup Gold playing hell with that Odin. Nobody could kill him. Nobody could get him out of there. And practically that's how they won that last round. But it was an amazing match. I've heard a lot of good things about both teams. So I expect a second match where Nebula can come back and take us to a third map.
Yeah, and speaking of Cup Gold on the losing side of the on the winning side of the team getting a 1.8 KD. Very, very good from him. But we don't have to speak about him because you can see Tempered on the other side, definitely
Hmm.
trying to get that difference between the two teams, and he just couldn't do it. Both teams, Sovas had an 81 cast. What an amazing match! I really thought that Nebula would um, win out their map pick, but DV8 Wukong takes it and steals them the first match.
Yeah, the usage of util from both teams, especially from both Sobas, the people that I heard from the top 10 most, uh, how can you call it, best players of the tournament so far, they were included. Cup Gold and Tempo. They both showed why they're on that list. Their util is amazing, both playing Soba as well. Tempo is stepping up from for his team, especially with that 4K, almost clutching that round. I'm pretty sure that hyped up their whole team, and that's how he was able to bring the vibes up again and somehow almost come back on that defense side. But I'm real excited to see the second map, see if Nebula can win Wukong's pick and take us to the third map, like I said, which is gonna be, if I'm not wrong, um, Haven, was it?
Yeah, it was Haven.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see since they started building momentum on the defense sided. I can't wait to see Nebula try to bring it back and bring this to a map 3. We're gonna go into intermission. Thank you for talking to us.
yes, sir.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Night Sky Arena map 2 coming up. DV8 Wukong versus 0G Nebula. It was a banger last map. And this map is already looking like it's going to be another banger. We have a Clove alert on the board and an ISO. The, I think, second time that we've seen ISO played in this tournament. Maybe the third time, but still, ISO counter pretty low. Somehow the Clove counter is actually pretty high, to be honest, in terms of these niche agents. We're not seeing many ISOs. And it is a double smokes composition, however, not in the way that you would usually expect. Instead of having an Omen, a Viper, and then like a traditional Sentinel, you know, like a Chamber, Buys, Cypher, something like that. No, instead, you just have two duelists. They're just running two duelists and two smokes and no Sentinel on Lotus. I am terribly sorry to say it, but I just don't believe in the no Sentinel theory on this map. You have to do a lot of very weird stuff if you actually want it to work. You have to do a ton of BC defaults. You have to do a ton of B conditioning. You have to really fight for rubble to make sure that the other team knows that you can't just abuse it haphazardly. And DV8 Wukong are no strangers to doing weird stuff. They're running the M80 comp. Or you could call it the XLG comp, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. We have a Cypher, we have a Deadlock, we have a Sage, whatever you want to call it.
This is gonna be a really fun match. It's the first time that I see an ISO playing Lotus, like you said. Not having a Sentinel can make it really tough to win the game, especially in this map, especially on defense, because they're gonna have to take a space somewhere. Because especially when there are 3 sites, having a Sentinel is you need one.
100%.
Me on my team, I play Chamber, and I can basically hold 2 sites at the same time as a Sentinel, but playing with 2 duelists and 2 smokes. Wow, I'm really excited to see. And then we have Wukong with the Chill Eye Gaming comp. 3 Sentinels. Oh my god, it's gonna be...
Wukong stole all of Nebula's Sentinels. Already right away, Nebula starting out on attacking half, the side that you probably want to start out on. They're just rushing it down on the A side. Deadlock trying to deal with this ability as best as they can. Ryukigai on site finds one taken out by the nade. Wukong 2 on the flank. None other than Azumi, top gold, already abusing the fact that there are no flank trips. Paranoia goes out to kick off this retake. Door gonna be open. Prowler spots out tempo. Azumi dispatching the player immediately. Floofy finds Graves. Scanned up in backside. Tyler Staria taken down by Swan. Azumi sticking this defuse though. Forced to fall off. Floofy with a 3k to close out this round. Nebula are pacey and aggressive. Everything that you would expect out of a team with no Sentinels. I just thought Nebula used up all of their Sentinels last map. The ISO is something that we've seen in the past. We have seen this not this exact composition, but we've seen the raise in the ISO from none other than T1, who won Masters Bangkok using this composition, not this composition, using the ISO. The ISO isn't the weird part, it's more the Clove and the Viper and the no smokes. Just built for aggression. However, there are 4 members of Wukong on the A side, and even though Wukong are on a save, still have a lot of very helpful utility. Even Tyler getting in here. Vulnerable goes through, and Graves finds the first pick with the classic. Gets all that free space. Azumi finds another. Mars gets the trade. Ryukigai levels the playing field once again on site, navigating all of this utility very carefully. Prowler gonna go through. Almost catches Mars. Not quite. Bandit as well alive. And Wukong are looking like they're gonna win this round. They are completely outpacing Nebula, or outclassing them on these hits. They didn't even need to use a ton of that barrier and trip utility. They just had to shoot their guns, and shoot their guns they did. Mars with the spike still over towards Rubble. Viper as well checking this flank carefully, while all 4 members of Wukong are rotating off of the A site. And that's a little bit strange because A site is the only site where they don't have information, right? They have a trip up on C, they have a camera on B. Looks like they think maybe someone could have infiltrated the flank, walked up through B, taken that space, but now they're starting to realize, okay, they're probably over towards A, and A, they are. Mars tapping the spike. Ryukigai reacting accordingly. Ryukigai
spike planted.
Catches this orb being thrown from Bandit from tree. Bandit immediately walks back onto the A site. Door gonna be tripped. A little bit of extra pressure on top of everything else. And Cupgold sticking around, throws the eye, instantly broken. Smoke goes out from Graves. Mars, nice tap onto Cupgold, first of many. Ryuka guy, spam shots, finds another on the Mars. Bandit, last one left alive. Nothing to play around, but a Marshall, and oh my god, Ryuka guy, a rare whiff from him. Has the round go Nebula's way. A little bit of luck involved, sure, but a round is a round. Nebula will take it, gets out alive with the Guardian as well. Wukong absolutely threw that round.
They 100% did. Those trades at the beginning of the round, even though they had classics only, gave them all the advantage they needed playing together, having that triple C, all the info in the world. Good retake. They knew Nebula was playing backside basically, and still Nebula pulled that round somehow. I don't even know.
Now Wukong are back on the buy. Eye goes out, taking rubble. It's pacey. Not gonna get any value though. Cupgold still sitting in tree. Has that Odin out very, very early. Spam shots not gonna amount to much. Bandit just holding this flank. Might want to walk up B a little bit. To his surprise, however, Azumi and Graves sitting on the side. Azumi with that barrier instantly gonna cast it. Bandit reluctant to break it, still does. Graves picked off Swan, but Mars gets the trade. Instant heaven cleared out. Azumi last one left on the site, if you could even say that. C's gonna force him to stay on the site, and Bandit gets the pick, and all of a sudden Nebula up in a man advantage. ISO immediately pops that ultimate. Can we please switch to that perspective, please? I beg you. And we do. Mars finds Ryuka guy in that ultimate. Very, very well-timed ultimate. Cupgold, but the Odin, though, might have something to say about it. 2 versus 3. They could maybe just bring this back. 1 playing in main, 2 playing on site. It is Floofy and Tempo on the side. Might have something to say about this round. And Tempo catches Tyler on a whiff. It is a thrifty from Nebula. A completely different look from the last round. Wukong stacked 4 on the A side during Nebula's buy round, their anti-eco, and almost won the round. And now that Wukong are actually on a buy, they end up losing the round. And Nebula already looking so much better. Individual performance, it isn't Tempo taking over. No, it's Bandit, it's Mars, it's Floofy. It is these very, very big names, mechanical performers, actually showing up into it. And dare I say, if any coaches are listening right now, please, for the love of God, get Nebula off of the double Sentinel comp on Sim. I beg you, it is just not their style. Swan picks off Raiko right away. Cupgold with the trade, but Swan finds 3. This guy's going nuclear. C-site completely wide open. Floofy with the entry gets the site. Utility minimized, saved for the anti-retake. Ryuka guy and Tyler Staria around in halls. Gonna dodge this Prowler somehow. Floofy with the Boombot just to double check. Smoke fades. Not gonna catch anyone. The Prowler and the Boombot are good for it. Bandit, Pacey, and Tempo to close out the round. It's the 4th round from Nebula. As I was saying, please, for the love of God, get them off the double Sentinel comp.
Yeah, complete different Nebula from the first map. Like you said, take them off the double Senti comp. Give them 2 duelists, bro, and let them do the work. Because they're doing amazing. Their whole team is performing so good right now. Bandit close to the Viper, or Swan close to the
Tempo at the bottom of the scoreboard right now. I mean, Tempo is positive, and Tempo is doing good, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have to be Tempoed whenever the rest of the people are taking over. And we even saw during Ascent that the rounds that Nebula were actually winning were the rounds where they actually sped up, got super pacey, fought for something. Even on defense, they were fighting so much, not allowing any gaps to be exploited by Deviate. Wukong, now that they're actually allowed to fully play a pacey, frustratingly aggressive composition, doing so much better. Cupgold finds Floofy, but Bandit gets the trade on the flank. Tyler Staria fails to get any value. Mars running into the smoke, dry. Fair enough, I guess. Deadlock ultimate going to be used, not going to find anything. Swan pops his Clove ultimate, just going to go searching through halls, but immediately Yuka guy and Tyler Staria falling off, not wanting to get any value out of the Swan, going back around, wants to find something, anything, but Wukong gonna avoid it. However, it's Bandit and Tempo walking back onto the seaside. Bandit getting this ultimate down might stop Wukong in their tracks. Yuka guy and Graves walking back around through water. Just want to start this retake off right, taking the free space if they can. Cupgold's eye landing, Tempo's eye landing in the middle of the pit. Again, not going to get any information. Ryuka guy navigating the outside edge. Tempo clearing the flank. Know where everyone is now. Close smoke gonna go down, not gonna do much. Tyler Starya immediately picked off Tempo. A taste of Cup Gold's own Medicine Graves does get the trade. It is a 1 versus 2. Bandit finds the first 1 versus 1 Graves. Low HP, time ticking down, damage all around, and Bandit with the Molly finds the round with the 3K, baby. 0G Nebula, 5 rounds, 5-0. Deviate Wukong have no answers for this pacey, aggressive attack side. Nebula looks so much better, and it is a pleasure to be able to watch Bandit just absolutely taking over. It doesn't even matter where Bandit is on the map. Bandit lurking in B main, finds a pick even off the back of that deadlock wall. You know, that deadlock wall a little bit off, gave a little too much space to Bandit, was able to exploit that gap. They didn't know any actual information and still chose to rotate, knowing that someone could have exploited that gap. On the clutch, Bandit completely taking over. Seas goes out. Looks like Wukong, you want to fight back a little bit, but just not gonna happen instead. Forced to fall off the line by Nebula's aggressive composition. Cupgold still has the Ares, might be able to do something about this. Not gonna go checked. Actually gonna go uncleared. Mars finds 1. Cupgold finds another. Cupgold finds a second. Someone please deal with this guy. A third on the round from Cupgold is going nuclear, taking Rebel back. A one-man army. Bandit finally puts the Monster 2, and Spike's gonna go down 2 versus 2 situation here. Wukong still on a bye. Gonna get this revive back on the raid boss. So instead goes for Graves. A little bit of a smarter move. Has some helpful utilities. Tyler Starya on the flank, walking around through B main. Bandit and Tempo falling off into heaven. Smoke goes down, gonna walk him off. But Tyler Starya finds the first Tempo with the headshot, but Azumi puts it into the round. First round on the board from Wukong. It comes off the back of absolute heroics from Cupgold. This guy, the Ares. Why is this guy the only person who buys the Ares in this tournament thus far and has so much value with it? That is a 3 guy. This guy's completely taking Rebel over by himself. And I plead to Nebula, however good you look, for the love of God, clear your corners! He's just allowed to sit there behind the box and take 3 of you. Shoot him back! Just shoot him! But it's okay, it's just 1 round. Nebula still in complete control. Economy flourishing. Swan gonna have to buy shield. No, actually can't even buy shield. Somehow their economy after 1 round is gonna be cracked. Maybe off the back of that clutch situation from Bandit. Maybe they should have lost that round. Who knows? I gonna go out from Couple. Not gonna be able to find anything. Door gonna be open though. Wants to take this timing with. Oh no! The Odin sat down by Swan. Azumi does get the trade. But still, embarrassing moment from Cupgold. How do you even manage to miss that? Bandit and Tempo around through B. Bandit finds a pick on Azumi while Tempo dispatches Graves. Ryuki guy gets the trade onto Bandit, but now isolated in heaven. Mars has the angle. Ryuki guy with the shot. Deadlock wall goes out into breakable. Gonna isolate Floofy. However, Tempo immediately rotating back around to A. Floofy, if he so chooses to push around back onto the A site, will have an empty site waiting for him as Tyler Starya and Ryuki guy just want to regroup over towards C-Link. Spike's going to go towards Floofy, which is going to be a Raze ult. Might just help them get the win. They do have a Raze and they have a Fatal online.
My ult's ready.
Spike's going down. Utility definitely low. Not much to work with here. Tempo maybe with a Fade Eye coming back pretty soon. Maybe a Prowler here. Sees there. I don't really know. I don't think that there's much to work with here. Floofy does have this Raze ult. That's going to be the most pivotal piece of utility that they could possibly use. If you so choose to use it, Tyler Starya dispatches Tempoed, and it might just actually come down to this Raze ultimate, which is going to not dispatch Ryuki guy, somehow dodging and weaving around Ryuki guy with the 3K. If you can't kill him with a rocket launcher, how can you kill this guy? He's going nuclear. 7-6, and the defuse to be found. The second round for Wukong. That's 2 in a row. Nebula, where have you gone? That's 2 in a row. Nothing to be too worried about. However, Nebula are going to be forced to either save or do a little bit of a broken buy. 4 rifles here, or 5 rifles really, but 1 Guardian on the board for Swan. And again, Swan not going to be buying any shield into this Cupgold. Instead of opting for the Odin, opts for the Ares, a little bit of a lower buy. They do have the op out for Azumi, which is interesting. Opting on the Sage. I can definitely get behind it. We haven't seen Azumi play super aggressive agents during the Invitational, but once he's on that Phoenix, I mean, he looks absolutely incredible. This guy's just a flex master on the stage as well. He's doing pretty well. We'll have to see how they do play around the operators. And Seaside is just loaded up with utility. We have sound sensor, we have trips, we have a camera. Isolt not going to find anything, however, it is a 3-site waiting for Nebula's picking. Tyler Starry at 143 through the wall, finds tempo, Spike is down. Smoke's going to go through, and the plant's still going to be allowed to happen here, but Tyler Staria doing a damage. Azumi finds Bandit lurking through A, dispatching that star player, and putting them into a 3 versus 5. Mars with a nice shot, scratch that, 3 versus 4. Rika guy dispatched, both raid bosses down. Mars sticks around. Tyler Soria catches Floofy, and Mars gets the pick onto Graves. 2 versus 3. Tyler Soria straight through the smoke. Puts in a 1v1, and Azumi catches Mars running away. With that operator, he definitely looks good. Sage well up. Cheeky little play. Grabs that spike defuse. Sage res online in the 3rd round for Wukong. Gonna be claimed here.
Might be a good time to call a timeout from Nebula.
100%. But as we know, teams in this tournament just don't call timeouts. So I don't know if I'll be.
We are Valorant. We are fighters.
I mean, actually,
some timeouts on Ascent.
Now that I'm thinking about it, Nebula actually called the first couple of timeouts for this tournament. Like, it's crazy. It really is crazy. But Nebula are a high enough caliber team to understand they have to call timeouts if they want to win the game. They're still up 2. They're on another broken bye, so they definitely have a chance in this Cup Gold. Instead of opting for that, Ares decides he's going to get more value out of a Phantom, and I can understand why. It's 3 fighting for Rubble. Azumi Graves, Cup Gold. Let's see what type of utility you have. Sage Slorb goes down, as well as a Paranoia Eye as well. Mars catches Graves, though. It's not going Deviate's way. Will they clear their corners, or will Cup Gold be allowed to feast? This dog might... No, this dog actually clears where he was before. I can understand it for sure. Azumi on site, isolated with the operator, forced to fall off the site. Deadlock ultimate for a little bit of extra damage here. Azumi finds Mars, not before Bandit catches Cup Gold out. Azumi missed shot onto the cloak here. Floofy does find Rikigai allowing for this plant pad. Tyler Soria catches Bandit sleeping, and Azumi gets a pick onto Tempo, not paying attention. Cypher ult's gonna go down, gonna make this completely so difficult for the Nebula players. But the Satchel's definitely pretty good. Azumi just dealt with it really well. Luke's actually going to be walled in here, and the defuse is just going to be stuck. Oh my god, how are you supposed to deal with this? Tyler Staria, another 3K individual performance, and every single one of DV8 Wukong's members are firing in all cylinders. In fact, if I had to say it, and I will say it now, Graves is the only one who hasn't really been firing, and that's really weird to see, because Graves was the MVP of last tournament. He was so good on the Yoru, on the controller, right? Graves just looked really good. I'm not saying he looks bad now. I'm saying that the rest of DV8 Wukong just looks completely rekindled from the way that they looked during group stage. They look so good. They have a fire in their hearts, a fire lit under their asses. Now they're pushing for this first win in playoffs. They want the 2-0 and they want the comeback. Timeout going to be called, I'm presuming, for Nebula here.
Yeah,
like Azumi hoping to just...
Let's see how they're gonna stop Wukong. Getting 4 rounds in a row now. They still have 3 ults. We have that rest. We have the fatal for a good retake here. The only thing Nebula has close is the ISO ult again. He got it really fast. He's been getting those kills. And Bandit close to ult, which they secure around with a 3K clutch with Bandit at the beginning of the game. So let's see how they adapt to this.
Time takes down now. Timeout's done. Like Nebula gearing up over towards A once again. No surprise there. They've had a fair amount of success on the A site, managing to crack DV8 Wukong's defense pretty well. And DV8 Wukong this time opting not to fight out too much. It's all 3 Sentinels stacked up for C. No access, however, not even gonna matter. Cup Gold and Graves about to be absolutely abused by the ever persistent push from Nebula here. Fatal goes out, Cup Gold gets off the line before he can get any value. Instead, utility going to be used to push him back. He's now getting this pretty well, and actually he finds 2 before Swan takes him out, but no matter. Oh, maybe it is a matter. Actually, it's a 2 versus 4 now. Swan hits a belter. 3 versus 2.
One enemy
Wukong falling
remaining.
off. Ryuki just holding Swan. Then they come back with that Clover ult, and Ryuki just gonna run away. Gonna use that grab net as well. That is a incredible grab net, and Tempo is the one pushing your Tempo. It shouldn't be you. It should be Swan, but no. Instead, it's Ryuki with another 3K. Is this guy's third 3K into this map? Second? I know it's at least his second. This guy's absolutely frying today, and Tyler Staria as well is no sleeper. You guys are playing this map very, very well. I don't know what happened the first 5 rounds. I don't know who's doing anything different. Maybe Nebula's just slowed down, or maybe Wukong has cracked Nebula's attack, figured out the secret. And actually, now that I think about it, Wukong starting to retake a lot more against this comp.
Yeah, 100%. Looks like another 5-man push on C now. I don't think Nebula has found any way or any answer on how to counter Wukong here.
So much Sentinel utility on the site. Just going to be broken through, but at least Wukong know for sure where they're going. Mars in the smoke wants to push through Hall, off the back of a Prowler, and push he will. However, Tyler Staria finds the first Floofy with the trade. Cup Gold still has an Odin around the corner. Damage done. Floofy on 1 HP. I believe Swan is as well. Not even gonna matter. Tempo isolated in a corner. Still finds one before Cup Gold manages to pick him off. Ryuki navigating through this green cloud of gas. Swan finds Ryuki. Graves gets the trade. One left alive at Swan versus the world. Span from Tyler, and Cup Gold picked off before Graves squashes any attempt at a clutch. But for a moment in time, just a brief moment in time as well, Swan, flash of brilliance. Flashes of brilliance all throughout this map. In fact, it's been more like consistent brilliance, but it's just not enough if they're not able to crack Wukong's code. They have the right idea, pushing all the way through halls, trying to get some early space. However, it just didn't really account for the fact that the Odin would be there waiting for them. And maybe that's not even it. Maybe they did do good to get the space and then back out, force Deviate to really re-clear it. Getting that ultimate from Bandit into the round, even on the eco, I understand that it was definitely a great shot. 6-5 now. Nebula gonna be pretty mad if they don't get more rounds, especially whenever they're on such an attacker-sided composition. I could say the same for Wukong though. Maybe this is defender-sided, I don't know. I think that the triple sentinel comp is pretty attacker-sided, and that's not sarcasm. I can explain that later, but instead, now you're gonna go out, stripping any utility, not even gonna work. Tyler Staria on the site, and Ryuki picks Floofy out of the air. Ult's going down, Tyler Staria navigating this push. Spike goes down, tempoed, deals with a potential disaster, but Graves is still on the site, and Graves catching Tempo, sleeping at the wheel. Bandit, last one left alive in a 1 versus 2. Azumi with the operator around the corner, slow Wolf goes down, trying to get any potential damage he can. Graves and Azumi, the re-swing, and he finds the pick. 7-5, Wukong. A comeback of the ages, a comeback that Nebula themselves could not pull off in the previous map, but that Deviate Wukong just pulled 7 rounds out of their butt. Where do these 7 rounds come from? I don't know. What type of read did they have? I don't know. I don't know how anything changed without taking a timeout. I don't understand how Wukong is able to do this type of stuff. This triple sentinel composition looks incredible. Oh, you gotta pause the timer, Cress. You gotta...
I did.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I did, no worries.
I can't see on the overlay, sorry.
No worries. But yeah, I mean, if you look on the bright side, looking at Wukong's comp, this was to be expected. They're supposed to be strong on defense, and Nebula getting 5 rounds, even though they have 3 sentinels. I guess you can call that a win.
Right.
But now let's
However,
see how Nebula's gonna do. Yeah, go ahead.
I think. Sorry, I was about to say. I think the issue with that premonition is that I don't exactly think that more sentinels means a better defense. I think that actually this triple sentinel composition is super attacker sided, and I will explain why. I think that holding down the sites obviously easier with sentinel utility, but even with 3 sentinels, it's easy to break all of this utility with just a simple raise nade. You can just kind of plow through it, which is what Nebula were doing a lot, right? They were getting through all of this utility, and Wukong wasn't actually capitalizing off of that utility. So I think that Wukong's defense probably could have suffered a lot if their retakes weren't so good. I don't know how Nebula didn't manage to stop these retakes, right? These retakes shouldn't have been that good from Wukong because they don't have a lot of utility to actually retake the site. And that is exactly why I think that this comp is attacker-sided. I think that Wukong right now, already starting off with a C hit, that is what this comp is meant to do. C spam. If they hit the C site and get the C site and then get their Sentinel utility down, it is impossible to retake, and that is an issue because Nebula do not understand that at all. They have left Bandit solo on the C site trying to act as a pseudo Sentinel. However, Eye is going to go down. Ryukigai finds Swan right off rip on the lurk. Cypherwire as well. Bandit forced off the site, and that is exactly what I was scared of. Wukong have found this C site. Bandit unable to do anything. Takes a little bit of a timing though, actually, maybe is able to do something. Anything at all. 1 HP. Gonna have to look for even more. Finds a second. It's nobody but Bandit alone on site. Alone. Cupgold finally dispatches him, but not before Mars finds Tyler Stario. This C hit has gone completely wrong because Wukong are not using any of the Sentinel utility. Nebula didn't even give them a chance, but Azumi NC Mound goes unchecked. Yet another member of Wukong allowed to just roam free in these corners. I'll finish what I was saying earlier. I think this comp is attacker-sided because once you get onto the C side or even any other side, but I think that C especially is super good for this comp, you get that Sentinel utility down, and the retake is super, super difficult to do against this comp. Because the retake is where people are actually in a position to capitalize on the Sentinel utility. You're not going to stay on site with all the Sentinel utility. No, you're going to want to fall off and retake. That's what the utility is for. It's for stall, right? But whenever you actually get the site on attack, you can play off of your utility on site whenever the other team is trying to retake. That's pretty easy to do. That's a very good thing to do. And this time, Wukong know that their comp is built around C spam, so now they're just wanting to prove that they can actually go towards A. And 4 people for C3 now walking out over towards Mound on Nebula's side, but they might have to hurry this up because Wukong are hoping to get pretty pacey with Floofy in the smoke, finds 1, finds 2, Ryukigai goes down, and all of a sudden, that's a gun for Floofy. Tyler Staria dispatching of him handily, running through Breakable, finds Swan as well. Spike goes down for Cupgold. 2 on the flank, going to be read pretty well. Shield already popped. Tyler Staria on the angle, forced to fall off. Eye goes out, not going to get any value at all. Bandit, Molly trying to get space, whiffs it somehow. Azumi finds Mars, 1 more for Tyler Staria, but Tempo with the wallbang classic, and all of a sudden this is goddamn winnable. 1 HP spam from Cupgold, misses. Ares versus Stinger, 1 HP versus the absolute GOAT. What can Tempo show us peeking around this angle? And it's nobody else but Cupgold with the clutch. It's a dangerous round, but it's still a win for Wukong. That is a successful A hit. However, I don't know how convincing that is for Wukong, really. And again, Wukong gearing over towards A. That's Cupgold and Tyler Staria already starting out over towards the A site. Looks like they want to prove it once and for all that they can actually take the space. And even if it doesn't culminate in a win, if it's scary enough for Nebula, or if it's impactful enough for Nebula in terms of the who wins the rubble fight, you know, then Nebula are still going to have to respect Wukong on the A site, and Nebula aren't just going to be able to let A site go for free. Raise nade immediately to kick off this fight, as well as a deadlock grab net of Swan. Disrespectful as all. Mercy me. 1 HP for Graves. Spam as well. Pushing straight through the smoke. I'm not sure if this is a good idea though, as Azumi falls off the line. Bandit finds Tyler Staria. Falls back onto site. A little bit of an overpeak there. Ryukigai still in B main. Has angle, but Graves catches the flank from Tempoed. Wall gonna be tripped. It's a BC default. It's gonna be read pretty easily by Nebula. However, 2 people are pretty far away. It's Floofy and Mars on the flank, all the way back in the attacker spawn, but they're being pretty pacey with it. They are holding absolute no secrets here. Azumi almost finds the first, but Mars 1 HP already. This wall, a nice angle. Door gonna be opened. Azumi finds the first. Another shot onto Bandit, whiffed. Finds the headshot instead. Ryukigai with this grab net, it's good for it, for sure. Stun goes out as well as the grab net, all this utility hitting. 1 way goes out as well. Graves with the Ares finds Mars. Floofy with the trade. Ryukigai versus the world, and if it's no one but Ryukigai, and he fails. Floofy with another round. Trying to crack this impenetrable attack from Wukong. You know, it's funny because I thought I would be saying Wukong with the impenetrable defense, but no, actually the attack side is, I'll repeat it, the attack side is where this composition shines. And now I suspect they're going to go back over towards C. Now that they finish with this A conditioning, maybe they want to gear towards C, where they know they will most likely be successful as long as they've actually worked out the kinks in this comp. It is a very weird comp, but it works very well. And yet again, Nebula misreading the stacking 3 over towards A, 1 Unbreakable, 2 fighting for Rebel. Bandit as well getting in on the action. There's 4 people over towards A. The conditioning has worked for Wukong, and now they're allowed to just have C for free. Prowler goes out, Tempo trying to deal damage, but alone on the site. A second Prowler as well, just confirming what Tempo already knew. Falling off back on the site. Guy catching this orb. Smoke goes down, a little bit of extra stall. Wukong forced to reconsider their options, or maybe it's all part of their plan, who knows. Bandit back to back with Azumi through this door. If one person clicks F right now. But no, instead, Cupgold just walks right on, finds Bandit. That's the pseudo Sentinel dead. Raze pops the ultimate, but an ultimate that will inevitably end with not a kill, but a little bit of information gained, sure. Ryuki guy allowed to find Swan on site before Tempo finally gets that trade. Eye goes out from Cupgold. Allows Graves to insert himself onto site. Tempo still has the angle, but he has no idea that Graves has actually gotten on site. Finally, going to be alerted. Azumi gets the trade onto Ryuki guy. Tempo forced to fall off. Tyler Saria finds Mars on the flank, and Cypher ult's going to go down, going to reveal all the information. Deadlock barrier wall, going to have to break that ASAP. Tempo left in the 1 versus 4, and they have the read. Azumi with a pick onto Tempo, stacking 4 over towards the A side, 2 Unbreakable, 2 fighting for Rebel. Obviously not a terrible idea considering what Wukong has been doing, right? Wukong has been cracking that A defense very, very, I don't want to say easily, but they've been doing a great job of it. And now that they have that conditioning going forward, Nebula are going to have to respect Wukong, and maybe in this timeout they'll discuss, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't leave one person alone on C. I know that Tempo has been incredible, but Tempo is not good enough to defend off 5 members of Wukong, 4 or 5, whatever, leave a lurk or not. Tempo is good, but not that good. I don't think that anyone is, to be fair.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see if they can adapt back to it, because Wukong is doing whatever they want. Even in that bonus round, huge damage. Nebula couldn't fully buy equipment to try to slow them down at all. Their attack looks like they're going to fight for A again, Wukong, and we only have 2 people on A. Let's see if they're able to slow them down for their rotation, or if Wukong is just going to wait to get a lurk pick somewhere and then rotate back to C, where Tempo is alone again.
Time ticks down and Wukong does the expected. Tyler Staria looks like he actually wants to lurk. No, actually, no, chooses to go back over toward the 5-man hit. Nebula. Oh my goodness.
Gamble sack. Oh my god.
Absolutely misread Wukong's game plan. It's not A that you should be scared of. It's C, and the space is absolutely free. Ryuki guy left inserted over towards C, while Tyler Staria and Graves walking back over towards flank. They want to deal with this 5-man. Graves and Tyler Staria each find 1. Fuki and Mars dead, out for the count. Wire goes down to the back of a well-timed Prowler. Cupgold finds Swan, first of many. Bandit finally gets a kill on the board for Nebula into this round, but it's not even going to matter. C hit for sure, at least a C end. Graves with the spam, not going to be able to find anything. However, it is just a Marshall and a Bandit left up for grabs. Graves just holding this. Paranoia goes through. Has the read. Graves finds the first. Low HP dead. 1 left alive. Tempoed versus the world. 1 HP yet again, except the stakes are even higher this time. Not going to catch much in Graves. 3K on the board. There he is. There's the EDP heating up. Finally, it's a slow start, but 11-6. It doesn't even matter if he's not online. When we have Ryuki guy and Tyler Staria especially, this guy hasn't had flashy performances, but he's been consistent. He's been good. He has been a rock for Wukong to stand on, lurking, finding these gaps, holding down these sites on defense. He's been super good. And finally, Nebula have stacked more than 1 person over towards C. It's ISO and Raze. Looks like it might want to be a fight here. However, I'm not sure how well they'll manage to get through it. And actually, they've kind of read it a little bit. Swan rotating back over to C, maybe just to 1, maybe to help fight them. Camera goes out, getting past this close. One-way. Graves keeping into smoke. Damage done though. Swan has the read, knows exactly where to spam. Boombot goes through, gonna find Cupgold. Odin waiting on the other side. Ryuki guy has walked up all the way on Rebel. Can we get a Ryuki guy camera, please? He might just have an engagement there. Mars finds Cupgold. Tyler Staria finds Swan. Mars, another pick, but Ryuki guy evens it out. Swan popping this Clove ultimate. running it down. 2 left alive for Yukigai and Azumi versus the world. Now it's just for Yukigai. What can you even show us? Finds the first. Can you find any more? No, Death Punch will popped instead, allowing Azumi to walk out and find 2. And now there's just 1 left alive. The script has been flipped completely. Nebula are about to throw another man advantage. Azumi has the spike, forcing Bandit to walk back over towards Breakable. Gonna hear all this noise? No, actually, Azumi guy walking back over towards B, and Bandit not even gonna be able to hold a torch to what Wukong can do into this round. Plant gonna go down as well. No, actually, never mind. That just would have been on the icing on the cake, but fortunately for Nebula, a little bit of a silver lining. Extra credits not gonna be able to be found here for Wukong. I say that as if it's gonna change anything about their buy, however. Their buy is still pretty broken. We have 1 Sheriff, 2 Guardians, 2 actual full rifles, and Swan yet again for the 3rd time this series, if I'm counting. Maybe I've miscounted, but 3rd time this series doesn't have shields in favor of a rifle. I'm gonna go out. Yet again, Wukong want to do some A conditioning here. Swan takes 1 right away, catches Graves teleporting up. Absolutely nothing. Gravnet gonna go. But Swan is left absolutely unchecked. Doesn't manage to find another, but 2 on the board. Still pretty incredible, and Timpo is still on the site. Although it would have to be a pretty brilliant performance if he manages to find much here. Runs back, 1 HP, and Tempoed dispatches Azumi. You cannot let this guy play. Spike stranded in tree, still walking out with the Odin. Gonna be bound by the Prowler weapon as well, gonna be noted. Boombot going back over towards main. Bandit just walking out of his ultimate alongside Mars, out of the main, abandoning this Viper ult, which Wukong are going to hear and going to fake taking advantage of it. But actually, instead of going back over to B where the ultimate just went down, they're gonna fake breaking Breakable and then have Cup Gold walk onto the A site. Engagement taken with Floofy and Tyler Staria there. Cup Gold feels safe enough to get this plant down finally. Floofy, Mars, Bandit regrouping. Cup Gold feels like Fatal is warranted here. Mars dispatches Cup Gold almost instantly, and it's Tyler Staria. You've been good, but this would have to be a 3K for the ages if you want to close this one out. Finds the first. Does not expect the second. No, actually does find the second. It's Tyler
my
Staria!
God!
This guy is an immovable mountain on site. And Wukong take their first series. 1 up already in playoffs. If it isn't anyone else, it has to be Tyler Staria topping the scoreboard. 348 ACS, 24 and 15, 4 first bloods on Cypher. This guy is a beast, and Wukong just looked so amazing today. I have endless glaze for the way that they played that comp. I love the way that they played the Triple Sentinel. I like how they put real thought into it. They weren't just playing it just to LARP what they had seen at London. They really did believe in the theory, and they showed us some really good stuff. I liked Azumi's Sage Operator. Nebula, however, I think they have a little bit of a misread with how they should be playing. I think that the rounds that worked the best for them on Ascent were the rounds where they went super fast, even with the double Sentinel composition. You know, obviously they didn't have a dive duelist, but they did have the Yoru, and they were able to go fast into some rounds. I remember one particular round, it was a B hit all 5, and they absolutely smashed Wukong. The fact that Nebula is playing this double Sentinel composition means that, at least to me, they've had a little bit of a misread for their own playstyle. They look the best whenever they're going fast, and their attack on this map started out absolutely stellar, might I add. They looked really, really good for about 5 rounds before it just kind of fell apart because Wukong got activated. They're winning 7 rounds in a row. Nebula got 1 more, but ultimately Wukong took it. And that was an incredible series to cast. We got to see some really good stuff. Individual Shining, Bandit, Tempoed, Mars, these big names also for Wukong, Azumi, Cup Gold, Rikikai, Tyler Staria, really all of them. Everyone played amazing. This was a great series, and I look forward to seeing them all, honestly, in the... I look forward to seeing them progress in playoffs and slowly get better because I'm 100% still rooting for Wukong. Anyways, we're going to try and get an interview in here. However, I'm not sure if we'll be able to, so I'm going to kind of shoot it over to you guys for the post-match analysis while I try and get an interview.
Yeah, 100%. An amazing match. Nebula has still some things that they need to fix, how they need to counter the way that the other team is playing. Again, it was a 4v2 that became a 3v1 and still lost that round somehow. Obviously, an amazing clutch from Cypher. Like, it was overall an incredible match. I think Wukong showed why they're one of the strongest teams in this tournament. I don't know if you want to add anything else, Tarek, anything that you saw that you liked that you want to analyze.
Honestly, I think just Nebula, they had the right idea at the very start of the rounds, playing towards that C, but then once that timeout came through, they started just leaving the biggest gap on C, leaving only one person towards it, and it just led to their loss. I honestly think also on defense, you need to play the raise and the fade together more. I think that is just a good combo to stop any exacs, any pushes. Really good retake utility with the two, and it just faltered near the end. Really good start for Nebula, but it just couldn't happen. Wukong taking the series 2-0 was not as big of a surprise as it was when I first saw it. We'll just have to see what happens next.
Yeah, 100%. I think Wukong right now is a pretty solid team. Everybody on their team is performing as they should. They are not um it's just not a one-man team, you know? The five of them, all of them, their micros, their macros, their aim, the way they play their retakes, they're a really solid team. I'm pretty sure Nebula is gonna come back from this. They're gonna analyze these two maps that they just placed. They're gonna fix their mistakes and gonna come stronger on the lower bracket, and hopefully we'll see better games in their next match.
Yeah, and we got to talk about how Tyler just popping off on the cipher, all of these flanks, all these first bloods that he would get, just absolutely game changing. Getting that 84 cast on his end, 20, just having a 1.6 KD. What can you do? Well, it's definitely not to stop him. But
Yeah,
you got to also admit that Bandit was frying on Nebula. Just couldn't do too much to help the team. Not a lot of impact from the opponents.
yeah,
First
100%.
first deaths, just complete destruction from Wukong.
Yeah, in my opinion, in this match, Bandit was the best player of Nebula, especially with that 1v3 clutch in his Viper ult. Also on pistol round, uh, getting that timing, holding C, even though he was, I think, 10 HP, getting 1, 2 peaks here and there, buying time for his team to rotate. Um, but wow, yeah, it was an amazing series.
Right,
Both teams
100%.
play really good, and I think we'll see better matches coming.
Right. And speaking of which, I want to drag someone in here real quick, and he might not have been the peak of mechanical performance that game, but he's someone who we all know very well. Please welcome Graves back to the stage.
Hey,
Graves, how is it going, man?
that's going good.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've talked. Obviously, you used to be a regular during the Night Sky Invitation. I would drag you pretty much every game for pretty obvious reasons. You were absolutely frying during that tournament. Now, I'll go ahead and start it off. How are you feeling about today's win?
I mean, I feel great. We put in a lot of practice this last week, just preparing for this match. We knew they were going to be tough opponents, so we put a lot of time. We actually did not get to see a lot of what we did put practice into. We just went to a lot of what we were used to. So it's good to know that our good and true play style is still working, even without the extra practice on some of the new maps, new agent changes and stuff.
Right.
So we're pretty excited.
So here's a little bit of a sensitive topic for you. Maybe I don't know how you feel, but during the group stage, you guys lost a very close series to Apex Starlight, and I don't think that many people expected you guys to lose that series. I myself thought that it was pretty unlosable, and obviously all props to Apex Starlight for actually managing to take that series. But during the group stage, you guys looked super shaky, at least from my perspective. You guys looked shaky. You guys didn't look like yourselves. You guys looked like a shell of your former selves, if I may. But I remember during the last Stargazing episode, I said, I think that Wukong were super shaky during the group stages, but I have a lot of faith that they will come back during the playoffs. And come back, you guys did. You guys looked really, really good. You guys looked like honestly absolutely incredible. Like you guys nobody was overheating. Nobody was going crazy. You guys just had solid fundamentals, good game and map theory. I'll stop blazing and I'll actually ask you my question. What changed between now and the group stage to make you guys look so revitalized?
I mean, we did have a roster change because we were using Candy as a sub. Candy, phenomenal player, love playing with him, but The value that Cup Gold then brought to the team, it's I mean, it's a night and day difference as a voice on the team, and it gives me more freedom to play my own game, like how I was in that Ascent match. But when I do need to lock down and call a little bit more, still am able to, and Cup Gold will completely fry out. So I mean, we made that roster move. It was a really important roster move. I've gotten a lot more experience in with my role change to controller. I had not played a lot of controller before making this role change. So the group stage was a lot of testing, a lot of uncertainty in the roster because we didn't have a solid five, just the four. But now, I mean, we've put practice in as a solid five. We know how we're playing it out the rest of the season. So now we're just only going to keep getting better.
All right, 100%. And obviously, that Cup Gold pickup is something that I really did want to talk to you about because Cup Gold was really, really good during the grand finals, actually against you guys. And I think it's pretty ironic that now he's on y'all's team. If you can't beat him, join him. But talk to me about how it went and what was the process of actually getting Cup Gold on board.
Well, our original fifth player was supposed to come back for the start of playoffs, and like it was just delayed to the point where it wouldn't really be worth like continuing to play with that person for the rest of playoffs because he's just been out of it for a while and not playing the game. So essentially, we sidelined our fifth and picked up Cup Gold as like a perma sub for the rest of this, and like I mean it was just a very easy trial process. I was just kind of talking with Izumi and Riki guy, trying to figure out who's available, who can we get, because I don't know many people that are still LFT because a bunch of like the good players got picked up already, and then the opportunity to play with Cup Gold came, and it was just an instant like meshing, worked out really well first few scrims, and just kept going with it.
Right. So talk to me. What does Cup Gold actually bring to the team that allows you guys to do what you do? Obviously, it's not all on Cup Gold. I'm sure that you guys have been putting in practice to turn around your own performances, but at least some of it has to be Cup Gold, right? Can you talk to me about that?
I mean, so we've had some role issues in the past between who's playing controller and who's not, just because of the flexibility of a player like Zumi and the flexibility of a player like me, where we just kind of play these whatever we need to, but no one necessarily wanted to play controller. So I threw myself onto it, and Cup Gold takes over my old role of being the scan player. And as a skin player, I mean, great mid rounding. Like he's very proactive. He's a good calming voice in the team whenever we're getting a little too overheated. So it's just nice to have another person that can like calm us down. Get our head straight. Just another high level player added just makes a big difference.
Right. 100%. So, a question that I have, and I hope that you don't take offense to this, but something that
Wheezy.
I remember from you is that you used to be like very, very like the mechanical outlier for a lot of the games for this team. But this game, we didn't see you heat up too much. You were good, but everyone else was taking over a lot more. Is that more of like the role shift to controller has made it to where you want to play a little more passive, or has something else changed within the game structure?
I mean, I've had those games every now and then. This is like I'm closer to my form before last season than I was. Like last season was an outlier in my terms of performance over time. Um, the role change definitely has something to do with it because I'm not fully comfortable playing the Omen yet, and I definitely have some deaths where I just TP in to get caught out because I'm trying to make things work and limit testing still.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't necessarily need to completely frag out. I've got 4 competent fraggers behind me, so
100%.
as long as I can lead the way, we're fine.
And 100%. That was my main point as well. Is that it's cool that everyone else is firing on all cylinders. We're seeing Azumi take up a completely new role and absolutely pop off. So it seems to me that if you were on that role, you would be doing the same, right? Everyone on Wukong is very mechanically gifted. I remember on March 1st, 2026, you and I had an interview after your win against Frantic Esports in the last chance qualifiers, and you said, and you said yourself, and I'll quote: "Anytime I'm not there, they tend to step up their own weight. Obviously, to step up and carry their own weight." Now, obviously, they refers to Deviate Wukong. Is you switching to controller part of that, like kind of I'll play whatever I need to, or was it more of a more difficult decision?
It wasn't very difficult. It definitely was I'm gonna step back into this role to allow the rest of them to shine. Because I feel like as a leader, you kind of do have to take on those sacrifices to give yourself the best chance of succeeding. And it's been showing a lot in our practice and stuff about, you know, Izumi is just so much more comfortable playing in that flex role, being able to be in the fights more, and not being stuck just playing controller only. So, I mean, it just small sacrifice has to be made, and I've been having a decent bit of fun playing Omen, and
Yeah.
I mean, like that Ascent game, I can pop off, just not always.
Right. Yeah. 100%. I guess my last question for you is, this is a pretty big question. Who is the caller for DV8 Wukong?
Oh, it's me.
It's you. Okay.
I am the main caller. I'm the main IGL. We definitely have. It's a little bit more loosey goosey than just one person makes all the calls. I mean, Izumi has ideas. Cup Gold gives ideas. There's a lot of collective stuff. We've gotten Tyler's had a couple of good ideas for us. So it's just overall we all chip in, but I'm the primary caller. I have the final say.
Right.
It's not the first time I've done it. It won't be the last time I do it.
Right. So that could also partly explain why you're playing a more passive role now.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Well,
So for the analyst side, I got 2 questions for you. Obviously, we mentioned before that you guys already lost to Apex Starlight in those group stages, but how do you feel that the rematch is coming soon in the playoffs? Literally, the next match you play is them. How do you feel about that?
I mean, we're a different team from that match. We're confident in winning this. They aren't anything special compared to the matchup we just played. Both are good teams, and we just proved that we can beat the teams that are expected to beat us. I mean, the predictions were heavily favored for Nebula, so I mean, we just proved that we are way better than people thought now. And I mean, I don't want to jinx any of the scores, but we are going to win that match.
right.
Mhm.
I love to
And
hear
then
that.
lastly,
Sorry.
so it is okay. Eli. Lastly, my last question is, who do you want to face later on in the playoffs?
I want the final to be against what's it called? That's what I want.
Right. Is that more for the storyline, or do you have like friends or like beef
Storyline.
with them?
I mean, friends on that team storyline, like they
Right.
were a DV8 roster and they left us to go to 0G, and I think that would just be a good storyline.
Yeah, 100%. I like that thinking from you. That's what I was also thinking, to be honest. Well, great game today, Graves. Great calling from you. I saw a lot of those ideas, and everyone was shooting today. I loved seeing you guys back in action, fire lit for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and send you away, but thank you so much for your time, and good luck next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So, obviously, I probably misworded a little bit. I think I insulted him, but what I was meaning to say is he was playing way more passive. He wasn't taking as many first engagements as he would have been on like the Yoru or even like lurking on the Viper. But it's definitely interesting to see that he's calling, and his calling is good, even though he was on a roll last season that was definitely not a calling role. Like he was playing a lot of Sentinel, a lot of Yoru, a lot of Flex. Like he was being that fragger, and that's how he earned the MVP in the Invitational. So it's cool to see them back in action. I have endless glaze for this team now that I've seen that, yeah, actually they're back and they can beat teams that are as good or better than them, right?
Mhm.
We have one
It's
more.
very, very interesting to get a new caller on the team.
Yeah. We have one more interview. I'm sure that Tempoed will be showing up soon, but we just have to give them a little bit. So until then, I'm going to cut away, and we will be back in just a little bit with an interview with Tempoed. And that will also go on the VODs channel. So if you don't want to watch it live, I will be posting as well. So don't worry if you can't watch it.
What up?
Hello, everyone. We
Yeah,
are
Zen.
back on broadcast, and we have an interview for very, very special somebody. It's Tempoed, which I would say was the MVP for Nebula series. So, Tempo, talk to us a little bit about your individual performance, especially on Ascent. What was going, like, what did you take before this?
Uh, I don't think I did that crazy, but I appreciate the compliment. It's just I care a lot about the macro game, like calling and all that stuff too, correct positioning. But a lot of it is, just practice, understanding your opponents, like how they're gonna play. Like obviously, you can just be the most cracked player in the world and like take off people's head bit by bit. But like it's more important that you understand how your enemy team will play and like their tendencies if you want to win gunfights, not just like swinging and taking their heads off all the time.
100%.
So that's
So,
usually what I try to do.
yeah. So, my condolences on the loss. Can you talk to a little bit? Can you talk to us a little bit about what happened?
Uh, being fully transparent, we're kind of in a transitioning phase right now. We're between rosters, so it's a little bit awkward. We have people coming from different experience and backgrounds, like playing together right now, so we're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it was unfortunate that it came out and showed during the tournament game.
That
But
was
we'll hopefully get
entirely
better.
valid. That entirely valid reason, and obviously it's not an easy team to have that experience against. So, I have two quick questions for you. First off, coming
up?
into this game against Wukong, what was going through your head, and what type of prep did you do for Wukong?
The Wukong prep, we did have a couple of we did watch. I personally watched back a couple games just to try to see what tendencies they would have, which is something I mentioned earlier. But also, when they were playing against Comet on Ascent, I also looked at that too because Comet and Nebula are both on the same org, so we had access to those sort of things, So like those VODs and like oh he played like this, so he reacted like this, stuff like that. That was the sort of preparation that we did.
Yeah. So my I think a couple more questions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I lost you. Right. So that double sentinel composition on Ascent, obviously it looked good. It looked well prepped, but on Lotus, you guys came out swinging. You were so fast and aggressive. So do you think that the play style mismatch with double sentinel might have something to do with the struggles that you guys faced?
I think so initially we had this sort of signature comp. We played this on a different match earlier in the tournament as well on Ascent with the double sentinel, and it's a very much contrasting way to play the game of how we played it on Lotus. It's a lot more slower. It's a lot more like poke and like seesaw pull. You put a guy here, and if they react on the other side of the map, you take them away, something like that, right? Because you don't have like the resources to be super aggressive. But when we got like dismantled on the first map, to put it lightly, we decided that because some things weren't clicking like we thought they would, we'd switch gears and see if we could catch our opponents off guard with like
Right.
a hyper aggressive comp.
So was the Lotus pick entirely did you decide that in agent select?
Uh, we had it as an idea before, but we never really put it like fully into practice, and we figured this is the best places. Like this would be a good time as any to try it out.
Right. But you guys looked really, really good for like the first 5 rounds, to be honest. Can you talk to me a little bit about what went wrong for the rest of the map?
I think what ended up happening is we could not adjust to what the enemy team was doing, like in time. So when that first 5 rounds rolled around, we were playing our own game, but then as time went on, they started catching on to how we were playing and started countering us, and we couldn't adapt to continue playing our own game, if that makes sense. They kept evolving, and we kind of got a little bit stuck
Right.
because the comp is to be honest, because when you have an ISO and a clove, you don't have that many ways of, changing the way you play.
Yeah. I got you, 100%. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And
I got questions too. What?
Okay. Yeah, my bad. You're right.
I'm still here, Eli. Anyways, I have two questions for you. Basically, since you guys have the bye week for the lower bracket, who do you want to see you guys go against? What's it called, or Shadow of Nine?
Ooh. I think what's it called would be interesting because I don't know I don't know how many people know, but what's it called actually just joined the Nebula organization recently, I believe. So that'd be we haven't played them before, so that'd be a cool way to or that'd be a cool matchup to have.
And now, my last question is: who do you want to see in the playoffs? Like who do you want to go against? I mean,
What are my options? I don't know off the top of my head.
You have. Let me check for you. I have this pulled up right now.
Apex Starlight, DV8, Wukong,
Apex Starlight,
what's it
Deviate,
called?
Wukong, 0G. Sorry, Zero G, what's it called? Daybreak, Team Radical Light, and Shadows of Nine.
Ooh. I'm actually curious to see if we match up well in the Shadows of Nine, so I guess that's who I'd want to play. I haven't seen much about them, so I kind of want to explore that.
Well, I don't think that we
Got
have
a big
a
tip for you.
what?
Got a
What?
big tip for that team.
Okay.
Their egos break them.
Their egos break them.
I see.
All right. Interesting words.
I see this.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I don't think that we have anything else for you. And good
Thank
luck.
you for having
Good
me.
luck on the lower bracket run, man. I'll see you. See
Thank
you
you
in 2
so-
weeks.
Thank you. Thank you. Later, guys.
Later. All right, everyone. That was Tempoed from Zero G Nebula. Went out 0-2, but still showed a ton of promise, and he will be back in 2 weeks for playoffs round 3. However, that is all for now. Thank you all for tuning in, VOD reviewers, VOD enjoyers, and live audiences. I love you all, and have an amazing night. We'll be back next week with more